This is the most complicated threat environment the United States has seen in recent memory. ISIS remains a resilient movement that still controls major urban centers throughout the Middle East. We must ensure that they and those they inspire cannot expand their reach or slaughter more innocent people. The conflict in Syria is one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes of the 21st century. It has led to the rise of extremism and sectarianism, as well as further created instability throughout the region and in Europe and indeed all across the world. Iran, the world's largest state sponsor of terror, has become an even more emboldened and disruptive player in the Middle East. Russia has reasserted itself aggressively, invading and occupying Ukraine, threatening Europe, and doing nothing to aid in the destruction and defeat of ISIS. As China flexes its muscles and expands its military and economic reach, its activities in the South and East China Seas and in cyberspace are now pushing new boundaries and creating real tension. North Korea, too, has dangerously accelerated its nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities. We all rely on intelligence from around the globe to avoid strategic and tactical surprise. Intelligence helps make the other elements of national power effective, including economic and legal measures against weapons proliferators, terrorist financiers, and other criminals. Foreign governments and liaison services are vital partners in preventing attacks and providing crucial intelligence. It's important that we all thank and appreciate the foreign partners who stand with us in helping make sure that we all have the intelligence we need to keep America safe. If confirmed, I intend to advocate for a strong and vibrant intelligence community and for CIA's centrality in that community. There are at least 4 long-term trends making the urgency of supporting intelligence paramount. First, the intelligence community finds itself a potential victim of long-term negative budgetary trends, which can weaken the fabric of our intelligence community. Second, as with the proliferation of chemical and biological weapons and ballistic missile technology, countries such as North Korea have overcome low barriers of entry to engage in offensive cyber operations. The United States must continue to invest wisely to maintain a decisive advantage. Third, the effects of dislocation and poor governance present critical challenges, but also new targets and opportunities for the CIA's collection and analysis. And finally, the insider threat problem has grown exponentially in the digital age. The greatest threats to America have always been the CIA's top priorities. It will be the CIA's mission, and my own if confirmed, to ensure that the agency remains the best in the world at its core mission, collecting what our enemies do not want us to know. In short, the CIA must be the world's premier espionage organization. One emerging area for increased focus is the cyber domain. Sophisticated adversaries like China and Russia, as well as less sophisticated adversaries like Iran and North Korea, terrorist groups, criminal organizations, and hackers are all taking advantage of this new borderless environment. The CIA must continue to be at the forefront of this issue. As the President-elect has made clear, one of my top priorities, if confirmed, is to assist in the defeat of ISIS. We must maintain an aggressive counterterrorism posture and also address manifestations of this great threat beyond ISIS and al-Qaeda. With respect to Iran, we must be rigorously objective in assessing the progress made under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. While I oppose the Iran deal as a member of Congress, if confirmed, my role will change. I'll lead the agency to aggressively pursue collection operations and ensure analysts have the time, political space, and resources to make objective and sound judgments. Similarly, it's a policy decision with respect to how we will deal with Russia, but it will be essential that the agency provide policymakers with accurate, timely, robust, and complete intelligence and clear-eyed analysis of Russian activities to the greatest extent feasible. As a member of the House Intelligence Committee, I fully appreciate the need for transparency and support from members of Congress. I've lived it. We owe it to our constituents to get to the bottom of intelligence failures. But we owe it to the brave Americans of the intelligence community not to shirk our responsibility when unauthorized disclosures to the media expose controversial intelligence activities, or when Edward Snowden, from the comfort of his Moscow safe house, misleads the American people about intelligence activities. On my first visit to CIA headquarters just a few years ago, I visited an analytical targeting cell. Some of you have probably done this as well. I saw a woman who appeared as though she'd not slept for weeks. She was poring over data on her computer screen. I introduced myself to ask her what she was working on, and she said she was just hours away from solving a riddle to locate a particularly bad character she had been pursuing for months. She had her mission. Its completion would make America safer. She was a true patriot. In the past few years, I've come to know there are countless men and women just like her at this agency working to crush our adversaries. This past weekend, I took a moment and visited Arlington National Cemetery. I've done this many times, but on this visit, I paid special attention to the markers that commemorate CIA officers who have perished ensuring our freedom. In so many places most Americans will never know, agency put themselves and their lives at risk. We know the sacrifices of the families of each of these CIA officers from our role performing intelligence. Those families sacrifice greatly as well. As I walked among these heroes, I was reminded of the sacred trust that will be granted to me if I am confirmed. I will never fail it. I'm honored to have been nominated to lead the finest intelligence agency the world has ever known, working to keep safe the people of the greatest nation in the history of civilization. If confirmed, I will be sworn to defend the U.S. Constitution for the third time in my life, first as a soldier, then as a member of the House of Representatives, and now to work with the President and each of you to keep America safe. Thank you all for the opportunity to speak with you this morning. I look forward to your questions.
Mr. Pompeo, thank you for your testimony this morning.